Guys, they said QueenNaomi's mother allegedly rushed to Lekki mansion because she was called by the servants over what is happening. According to the information, they said when the king, who was very angry at the queen, stating that she is aware that the uncle is arranging marriage between her and David, that Pastor David from Australia, that she is aware of that arrangement and she did not mention it to the king. That is the reason the uncle has the audacity to be sending a threatening message to the king, warning him to let go of the queen. That the reason the queen is still with him is not because of love. At some point, he was saying that they are using something to manipulate her. Then, or that she is going back to the king because of the afraid, because she is afraid that if she did not return back to the king, that she might remain single for the rest of her life due to the mogun that was done on her. And there is no how she can move on without the king lifting that or something of that nature. Then they said the king was very angry. And when Queen Naomi was trying to explain to him that the reason he did not mention it to him is because she is not in support of that. She did not accept to marry the Pastor David in question. And there is no how she will be discussing such a thing with you, knowing fully well that she is not interested in that. But the king is seeing it that maybe the queen is not telling him the truth and all of that. Then they said he left the palace, as in the king left the royal mansion in anger. Even when they said Queen Naomi rushed after him, trying to explain to him and all of that, they said he left in anger. And she was hoping that he will come back in the evening because they said that thing happened around 6 p.m. So she was hoping that the king will come back there around towards evening period. But unfortunately, they said the king went to his lodge, his Osun State Governor's lodge, and lodged there and passed the night there. So the queen, they said started crying. They said she locked herself in. They said she refused to eat. And when she locked herself in, they said when it was time for dinner, the servant, they brought dinner and they called upon her to come and eat. She refused to open the door. She refused to answer anyone. The only time she called them on phone was when she asked about that day if he have eaten, if he is okay and all of that. Then this thing continued though till morning. They said she refused to open the door. And at this point, the servant decided that it is high time to let the mother and the king know about it. They said they called the king. The king did not pick. So they have to call her mother to let her know the situation of things. That the queen have refused to eat, or she have locked herself in, and all of that. And a lot of people are saying that the reason she is feeling like that is because she knew that maybe the enemies are at work again. Because one thing is certain, she cannot be lying to the king about a thing like this. And at this point, I think the king should learn to trust and believe in her if he really wants their marriage to work in this second time. Because information have it that the first time the queen left the palace was because of the fact that the king was trusting Ebony and believing Ebony over her. There was a time they said she and Tade was locked outside the Yoluwa quarters. Then Tade was still very tender due to the fact that they attended the program. When she came back and noticed that the house was locked, the keys was changed in short because they tried to open the door, but none of their keys could open the doors. And that was how they find out that the keys was changed. She called her husband, who was not in the palace then. The husband said she was going to get back to her. And the husband was angry over who could have done that. Then, when the husband called Ebony, because Ebony was too close to the king then, too close, the king called Ebony to ask what is happening in the palace, only for Ebony to lie to the king that there was nothing like that. She just want to create a scene. She just want to make it look like everyone in the palace is fighting her, you know. And they said the king did not call her back again. Even when she called the king again, the king was shouting at her, "Why would you lie to me? This, that." Because he have believed what Ebony told him, that there is no problem, that the queen is just making it up and everything. So, and they said these people have to stay outside close to 5 a.m. in the morning when they were able to get someone that opened that place for them. So you see that is one of the reasons. They say is the one of the major reasons that everything she said then the king will believe Ebony over her. So when you don't believe your partner, when you don't trust her, that marriage will be having problems. So maybe that's why the king is crying. So up till this point, the king is still doubting her. Why would he doubt her? If she is making the arrangement with her uncle, I believe there is no how she will be saying, "Oh, I want to return back to the king. I want to return back to the king." And her attitude is even showing that truly she wants to return back to her husband, from what we are hearing now, you know. So they said this is the reason. They said she had been crying. And when the mother came, they said, okay, before they said the mother came, they said Dr. Lizzie, because they also called Lizzie, knowing that Lizzie is one person that is always close to her too. So they said when Lizzie came and Lizzie knocked at the door, they said when she heard Lizzie's voice, she opened the door and was crying. Meanwhile, Lizzie tried to console her, and she was telling Lizzie that why is it that up till now the king do not trust her or believe her? How on earth did the king think that she will be lying to him over things like this? That the thing shattered her. And I said, the king, if you really want your wife back, you better, because we all know the kind of a person that Queen Naomi is from what we are hearing. She is that one woman that will say, okay, I don't want to do again. And she will stand by it. Or I want to go back, and she will stand by it. So I think the best thing for the king to do right now is to learn to trust her. They say before her mother could get to the royal mansion, Lizzie have come, and she have come out. You know, that is what we're hearing if the information is true. But don't forget that these are all alleged unverified information making rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact unless you verify them. Please do well to subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share this video. I love you guys. Thanks for watching again. Bye. See you.